morning everyone. In this lecture we are going to see the some basic methods of displacement measurement. In last lecture we have covered various methods of displacement measurement. In this lecture also we are going to see some type of methods which we have left in the last lecture. I Dr. Abhas Kanungo from Kite Group of Institutions, Electronics and Communication Department. In this lecture, we are going to see the certain methods of displacement measurement. In that, we will see the mechanical fly ball, angular velocity sensor, mechanical revolution counters and timers, and also the stroboscopic method to measurement the digital displacement or the displacement. Okay. So, the displacement measurement, there are various techniques of measuring the displacement. First, we have seen the resistive potentiometer, then the digital displacement transducer, then the mechanical fly ball, angular velocity sensor, mechanical revolution counters and timers, and the stroboscopic method. So, these are the various digital displacement method that can be used to measure the displacement, or the various methods that can be used to measure the displacement. In the last lecture, we have covered the resistive potentiometer and the digital displacement transducer. In this lecture, we are going to see the basic arrangement of mechanical fly ball angular velocity sensor and the mechanical revolution counters and timers and the stroboscopic method. So, firstly we are using this to measure the speed or the displacement, okay, because the speed is directly proportional to the displacement. So, the speed is a rate variable defined as the time rate of motion. So, common forms and the units of speed measurement in the linear speed expressed in terms of meter per second m by s. Okay. So, the speed is directly proportional to the displacement, okay, and the angular speed of a rotation machine usually expressed in terms of radian per second. That will be, you can see that unit of this is radian per second, and the to measure the linear speed, that will be in the meter per second, and for angular speed it will be in the radian per second, or the revolution per minute, that will be rpm. So, either when we are going to measure the rotational displacement, we can use the radian per second or the revolutions per minute, that will be counted. So, that will give you the rotational motion or the rotational speed or the displacement, because the displacement is proportional to the speed, and the measurement of rotational speed has acquired prominence compared to the measurement of linear speed. Okay. So, we will see the tachometers which is used to measure the angular speed or the angular displacement. Okay. So, for linear motion we have seen the potentiometer, that is very useful, but to measure the angular speed or the angular motion we will use the tachometer. So, the tachometer is a device, angular measurements are made with a device called a tachometer. So, when we talk about to measure the angular displacement or the angular speed, the instrument we will use to prefer is the tachometer, or the precisely that instrument specifically called as a tachometer. Okay. So, the angular displacement can be measured with the help of tachometer. An instrument used to measure angular velocity as of shaft either by registering the number of rotations during the period of contact or by indicating directly the number of rotations per minute, that will be give you the angular displacement or the angular measurement. So, what we have seen that you can calculate angular motion or the angular speed or the angular displacement in terms of radian per second or the revolutions per minute. Same thing is written over this definition. Okay. So, first we are going to see the mechanical fly ball angular velocity sensor or mechanical fly ball angular tachometer, that can also be called as a tachometer because it is used to measure the angular velocity or angular displacement or angular speed. So, that device is called as a mechanical fly ball angular velocity sensor. It can also be called as a mechanical fly ball tachometer, because we are measuring the angular speed, and when we are going to measure the angular speed, that device or that instrument is called as a tachometer. So, the basic principle of operation of that mechanical fly ball angular velocity sensor is the centrifugal force. Okay. So, we will see the arrangement, then we are going to see the principle of operation of centrifugal tachometer. It can also be called as a centrifugal tachometer, because the basic principle is on the centrifugal force of the mechanical fly ball angular velocity velocity sensor. So, it is also called as a centrifugal tachometer, is that the centrifugal force is proportional to the speed of rotation. Why it is called a centrifugal tachometer? Because the centrifugal force is proportional to the speed of rotation. Okay. In that, the two small weights in the forms of balls are attached to the spindle and rotate along with the spindle. Okay. We will see the arrangement, then you are getting to know that how mechanical fly ball angular velocity sensor work, or angular tachometer works, or the centrifugal tachometer works. So, these are various names of mechanical fly ball angular velocity sensor. As the spindle rotates, the centrifugal force is developed by these balls. This centrifugal force compresses the spring and groove collar or sleeve attached to its free end slides on the spindle, and its position can be calibrated with the spindle speed. Okay. So, through series of linkage, motion of the sleeve is amplified and the communicate to the pointer of the instrument to indicate its speed. So, we will see the basic arrangement. This is the basic working of mechanical fly ball angular velocity sensor. Now, in that you can see that in this arrangement, these are the two balls or the two weights. This is also one weight. Okay. These are the two balls, and this is the driver shaft. This is the that encircled is the driver shaft, and when this shaft rotates, when this shaft is on stationary position, means what? The arrangement is like that. This is the shaft, and this is the two weights. When these two balls are on stationary position, means this shaft is not rotating. This dark shaft, if it is, this is the shaft, and when it is not rotating, the position is like that, and that the pointer is on the 0. That pointer is on the 0. Okay. That pointer is on the 0. When there is no motion and that shaft is stationary only. Okay. Now, when that shaft rotates, a centrifugal force will be developed, and because of this centrifugal force, this balls getting away from this shaft. Okay. The balls getting away from this shaft, and when this shaft rotates, or this, now presently the needle is on 0, the needle is on this on the 0, and when this shaft rotates, this shaft rotates, the balls will be on away position, that will be away from the shaft. Okay. Because of the centrifugal force developed in between, that shaft will go away because of the centrifugal force. And when will these balls go away? When these balls go away, then the meter will be deflected from 0, because this weight dark weight will be lift up, and when it will be lift up, the pointer give you reading. Okay. So, this is the basic principle of mechanical fly ball angular velocity sensor. So, the motion or the rotation speed of the shaft will be proportional to the movement on this pointer. Okay, so this is the basic principle of mechanical flyball angular velocity sensor. So when this shaft is on this position, this ball's on this position, there is no motion. There is no motion in the shaft. If there is no motion, the pointer is on the 0. And when the shaft will rotate, when this shaft will rotate, then because of the centrifugal force, this ball's getting away from this shaft, and when this ball getting away from this shaft, that weight can be moved up, and when this weight can be moved up, then you will get the reading on the proportional reading on the counter. So the rotation speed of shaft is proportional to the reading on the pointer. It is proportional to the reading on the pointer. So it is the basic principle of mechanical flyball angular velocity sensor. So there are various advantages of mechanical flyball angular velocity sensor or the centrifugal tachometer or the mechanical flyball tachometer. First is it gives the average rotational speed with respect to the time, means it is not used to give you the instantaneous speed, it is used to give you the average rotational speed. Okay. And it is ideal for measuring speed of engines having low operational speed. That will be the basic application of mechanical flyball tachometer, and that assembly is sturdy and the mechanism lasts for long duration without maintenance, because we have used the mechanical arrangement. Okay. So when we use the mechanical arrangement, then by giving the proper maintenance of the devices or the instrument, we can use it for the longer duration, and that can be ideal for heavy duty machinery because it is the mechanical device. Also certain type of disadvantages that is also associated with the mechanical flyball tachometer. First, that it cannot give you the instantaneous velocity of driving shaft, as I have told you that it is used to give you the average velocity. It is not able to give you the instantaneous velocity. It can be used to give you the average velocity only. Also, there is a impose a load on the shaft on which they are connected. As a result, they absorb some power, because we have used two balls are there, and that balls is also having some type of weights. So that will also absorb some type of power. So that will be the one type of disadvantages. The counter and the timer cannot be start simultaneously to count the number of rotation. So that will be one type of disadvantages, because the all arrangements are mechanical arrangements. So some type of friction loss will be there. Okay. And that is also not ideal for high speed operations and the low power engines, as it may show errors, because we have used the mechanical arrangement over there. So it is not preferable for the high speed operation. So to measure the high rotational speed, we need to use the some alternative arrangement. Okay. So it will give you some type of error. So these are the certain disadvantages of mechanical flyball tachometer. Now the next device is the mechanical revolution counters and the timers. It is also give you, or it can also use to give you the rotational motion, rotational speed or the rotational displacement. So the revolution counter, sometimes called the speed counter, that consists of a worm gear, which is also the shaft attachment, is driven by the speed source. Also the worm drivers and the spur gear, which is in turn actuate the pointer on the calibrated dial. The pointer indicates the number of revolution turned by the input shaft in a certain length of time. Also, the unit requires a separate timer to measure the time interval, the revolution counter thus gives an average rotational speed. So, the mechanical fly ball tachometer is also used for the average rotational speed, and the mechanical revolution counters and timers is also we are using to measure the average rotational speed rather than instantaneous rotational speed. So, it will also provide you the average rotational speed. Such speed counters are limited to low speed engine which permit reading the counter and definite time intervals. So, the properly designed and manufactured revolution counter will give you the speed measures up to 2000 to 3000 rpm. So, that will be the basic speed or the rotation per minute that will be the provided by the mechanical revolution counters and the timers. So, we will see now the construction of mechanical revolution counter and timer. So, we can see in that this is the shaft attachment, this is our shaft, this is our spur dial, this is our spur dial, and this is our worm. Okay. So, when our shaft rotates with respect to speed of that shaft, that worm also rotates, and when this worm rotates, then it will give you reading on the that a spur is connected, a spur dial is connected with this worm. So, when this worm rotates, that spur dial is also rotates, and when this spur dial rotates, we will having the reading on the dial on the frame. Okay. So, the speed of this shaft or the rotation of this shaft is proportional to the reading on the dial. So, the basic principle is speed of shaft is proportional to the reading on dial, and that rotation of that spur which is moving with respect to that worm, and that rotation is caused by the rotation of shaft, that can be noted by the a number of counts can be rotated by, and that will be reflected on the dial gauge, and that can be counted with the help of counter also. So, it is why that is why it is called as a revolution counter, because a rotation of shaft can be counted, that is why that it can be called as a revolution mechanical arrangement of revolution counter. When this shaft rotates, the worm also rotates and the spur is connected with this worm. When this worm rotates, that spur is also rotate, and the moment of this spur or the rotation of this spur will give you reading on the dial on the frame. So, the speed of shaft or the rotation of the shaft is proportional to the reading on the dial. So, that will be the basic arrangement of mechanical revolution counters and the timers, which can be used to give you the rotational motion. It can be also called as a one type of tachometer, and it is used to measure the average rotational motion. Now, there are various advantages of mechanical revolution counter. First is the counter and the timer being integrally mounted and can be started simultaneously, hassle free, unlike the previous type. So, in the previous arrangement mechanical fly ball tachometer, the timer and the counter not starts simultaneously, but in this arrangement the counter and the timer being integrally mounted, both mounted integrally or the simultaneously. So, it can be started together or the simultaneously to give you the hassle free reading on the output side. So, there is one advantages over mechanical fly ball tachometer which we have seen the lastly or the previous type. Also, the mechanical revolution counter can measure high rotating speeds that will be up to the 5000 RPM or 5000 rotation per minute. Now also there are certain disadvantages of mechanical revolution counter. First is need periodic maintenance because all arrangements are mechanical. So, periodically we need maintenance of all the devices which we are using in mechanical revolution counter. Also due to the inertia of the moving parts, they are less responsive to the speed variation. Okay. So, that will not be used to measure the very high speed, because lots of moving parts are there in the circuit or there in the diagram or there in the construction. So, because of that moving parts, they are less responsive to the speed variation. So, it cannot be used to measure the high speed rotation. Also the assembly is complex as compared to the mechanical fly ball tachometer. Also the synchronization of the counter and the dial needs to be rectified accordingly, because counter give you reading very fastly, but the movement of the needle on the dial, because the weight in the needle also, so the synchronization is not proper in between the counter and the that needle which we are using on the dialer side. So, that synchronization has to be perfect. Also one type of disadvantages is there of the mechanical revolution counter, that this can only be used to measure the average speed of rotation. It cannot be preferred to use the instantaneous speed of rotation. Okay. Now, next method to measure the rotational motion is the stroboscopic method. So, first we need to understand what is stroboscopic method and what is stroboscope. So, a stroboscope or the strobe is an instrument that works on the phenomena of stroboscopic effect. We are going to see when we will see the basic construction of stroboscopic method, then we are going to see that it creates a stop motion effect of a rotating object by flashing a high intensity light on it. That means what? A stop motion effect, a very high speed rotation is there and we will fix the one part. Okay. The basic principle is that when I am having one wheel, I am moving this wheel in this direction. Okay. And when speed is very fast, by my eyes I can see that it is moving in anti-clockwise direction, but it is moving in clockwise direction when the speed of rotation is very high, and some type of mark over there. Okay. So, in the stroboscopic method, when that marks will be by seeing you stable, that will be the basic principle, and we will see that in the construction diagram. So, this appearance of moving object to be stationary can be used to study rotating or the oscillating or vibrating object. Okay. So, the basic stroboscopic instrument can be used for measurement of rotational speed or rotary motion or angular velocity RPM of a motor or any rotating object. So, that will be the basic stroboscopic method. Now, we will see about the stroboscope tachometer. When we use the term tachometer, that means what? We are using this to measure the angular speed or the angular displacement. So, a stroboscope or the stroboscopic tachometer is also called a flashlight stroboscope, because we will use the flashlight arrangement in the stroboscope that is used for the measurement of angular velocity or the rotational speed by the stroboscopic effect or the stroboscopic method. Also, it consists of a flashing light of a variable frequency, in which the flashing frequency of the stroboscope light can be adjusted. So, we are having the one rotation and we will float some type of light on that. We will see the arrangement, that will be the basic stroboscopic method. So, it consists of a flashing light of variable frequency which the flashing frequency of the stroboscope light can be adjusted. Also, a variable frequency oscillator is employed to control the flashing frequency of the light. By adjusting the oscillator frequency, the angular speed can be measured. So, that will be the basic arrangement of stroboscope tachometer. Now, we can see in the diagram. So, when we see the construction, first we have used the speed source, and this is our rotation, this is our disc that will be rotate. Because of that speed source, this shaft, because of the rotation of angular motion of this shaft, that disc will be rotate, and there are, we have seen the two stationary marks are there in the that disc, that rotational disc. Okay. So, when we are having certain stationary marks in the rotational disc, if we will move very fastly, when that disc moves very fastly, and when the intensity of light flashes on that, a light flashes on that, at some part it will be in the fixed form, it will rotate with that, but that fixed mark, because of the frequency of light or the intensity of light, that fixed mark can be seen stationary. That will be basic principle of stroboscope tachometer. So, you can see arrangement over this, that a disc is having the stationary mark, and here we are having, this is known as the stroboscope. So, a flashing lamp is there, and the intensity of the light which is defining by the flashing lamp, that can be controlled by the frequency adjustment knob. Okay. So, the rotation of this, a rotation of this disc, when the light flashes on it of different intensity, so that can be proportional to the frequency. So, because of that, we can measure the speed of rotation in terms of frequency, and because of that, because we are using the stroboscopic method or the stroboscopic effect, which is flashing the light on this rotational disc. So, at some time, because of we are varying this frequency of this light, at some time it will read you, or it will give you stationary. So, the speed of rotation is proportional to the frequency. So, that is the basic arrangement of stroboscope tachometer. There are various advantages of stroboscope tachometer. So, in this method, the angular velocity can be measured without making any physical contact. That is the biggest advantage, because there is no moving part, there is no touch. So, it can be very efficient. So, without imposing any load on the shaft, we can measure the angular velocity. Also, this method is best suited where physical contact with the rotating shaft is not possible. Also, that can be used to measure the very high speed measurement. There are some disadvantages of stroboscope tachometer also, that it is difficult to measure angular velocity if the available light in the environment or ambient light is more than a particular level. Okay. Also, the accuracy in the measurement gets affected if the frequency of the oscillator is not stabilized to give a fixed frequency. So, that causes the problem in the result or the output. So, these are certain disadvantages of stroboscope tachometer. So, this is all about the displacement measurement. Thank you.